And so I'm partial this weekend. Saturday.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. Okay, we're going to start. Also, if you didn't pay dues, you can do that after or next week. No rush. Okay. Welcome back to TigerDev for you who came last time. I'm the president. If you don't remember, my name's Adam. I go by Biggs, my last name. I'm the president. Liz, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Elizabeth. I'm the really loud person who wants your money. I'm the treasurer. So yeah, if you have any financial questions, I'm the person to come to. And any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't scanned this already, please do that. It helps us out in terms of getting funding and all that. So you're gonna go and do that real quick. Okay. All right. Here's a few other links. If you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join it. We'll figure out the AU involved stuff next time. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do this meeting is we're going to go through all of the games that were submitted for game of the semester. No. And we're going to watch their trailer, and then afterwards we're going to vote on what game we think should be played. A short trailer.
This game,
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. What's Terraria?
Wait, guys. So, guys. So that's what the person who submitted it said about it. All right, I'll just play the trailer, I guess. Oh. I picked the shortest trailer I could. So it's not the main game trailer, but it's.
You put them on like 1.75 speed.
I guess I can.
Yeah, maybe don't. Never mind.
They should all be like a minute. So. Sorry.
Full run. Play variable or something.
Wow, it's so colored.
That's 88 speed.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. So that's Terraria. It's Terraria. Uh-oh.
I played this one.
It's so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I can vouch for this one's quality.
It's $25, not 30.
That was like 15.
Okay, maybe
I didn't check.
I'm remembering wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember having to pay a lot for this one.
Oh, I just restarted it. My bad.
And
Yeah, it's $20
Oh, that's fine.
oh no. Oh, hands.
Hands! Human touch!
Is that Charlie Kirk?
Okay.
No, that is a random
Here's the next game.
it's Canadian school. Like commercial actor.
I didn't watch these
I've
trailers.
never heard of this.
Not my legs.
This reminds me of the Talos principle, actually.
That's a real TV.
Yeah, this feels like Portal or like yeah, like I said, the Talos principle.
Like early witness.
It all.
Yeah. So this is like an early.
I like the art style. They're all.
Yeah.
It's like 20, 30. That's why I got a minute trailer instead of like, actually, how long is this one?
Right, thanks. Be prepared to do your presentations next time.
Real fast. Real fast presentation.
That's probably so much work.
There probably is someone.
Okay, that's manifold garden.
It looks like they're going in. No, no,
I have no idea.
Oh, it's this one.
Oh.
I don't know.
What's happening?
2 whole minutes.
This is the meme.
I might go faster through this one.
I
You
know
don't see,
this
right, it's
one.
in the
I
game.
haven't played it, but like I.
Oh, my
know
bad.
this
I did it
one.
again.
You have like a hotkey setup to restart.
No, I just click a button and it does it. I just click.
It just does that.
Read map. I'm gonna.
Okay.
It's not out yet, guys. We
It's like Bloodborne, but stealth.
It's like.
Guys, it's PS2 Bloodborne.
Whoa.
Bloodborne already has PS2 graphics.
Like, we're never gonna get PC Bloodborne, so this is the closest thing.
Or like people.
The average day in the UK.
Yep.
Excuse me, good sir.
So they just have knives. You can't.
I know, but it's what was the.
By the nine.
You get several guys.
Oh, if it moves, the book that knife is
I hope no, I only know,
Sorry,
I only know because I follow Ultra Kill.
Okay, next.
How many games?
I was being recorded. I didn't realize.
Don't be afraid to just give through. Yeah, we did not have the time for a 6 year. I'm sure we'll all enjoy playing the first half now.
Oh, okay. That's, no. Okay.
Come at it.
Cuphead.
But I gotta play the trailer.
Do you really?
Who doesn't know what Cuphead is? Okay, there.
My brother carried me through this game because he's like in some kind of. I just spent the entire game with that. It was like-
So far, if I can't vote for my own entry, then
You can.
Manifold Garden has my vote. Agreed. But like, everyone knows Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should play Cuphead then, because everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it.
But no one knows Terraria. So we should play.
Oh!
It can only be indie game.
Yeah, no, nobody's gonna submit a. Hey.
Guys, we're doing indie games. We need to pick the niche and underrepresented game that is Terraria. Oh,
Ouch, a friend of mine really likes tunic a lot.
it does look very pretty.
Yeah, apparently it's like Legend of Zelda, but if you can't read.
No, I think about this
I think we should use my wish list as a project, not project, it's like, because I have over
Okay.
200 games on this list right now.
Give me.
Oh. Okay, hold up.
Right now.
Oh, my. I think this one's already been also on my wish list.
Oh.
There's a like this.
Mom, can we get back? I mean, like.
Well, you know
I'm sorry.
Dude,
I think
I don't understand.
Yeah. But like, I don't-
Sorry.
Okay, that's that game.
Think about that.
No.
Little kitty mouse.
This might be tunic.
I'm in, I'm out.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
As far as.
Can
you cause a payoff?
I'm in.
I'd like to think that this got submitted because you can't play straight. Kidding. Little guy simulator.
Little guys.
No, I prefer stumble guys. You're not a man of skill.
I have that, I have what they.
Dude, I have so many ways.
We can break.
What do you want me?
Okay.
Folk song.
I guess Silk Song, the game that will
Silk
definitely.
song.
Silk Song.
Every time it gets mentioned, they used to like.
Song. It's fixed.
Now, 80 years. I don't think all of that.
Oh, no. Not a multiplayer game.
It's usually just like 6 or 7.
Oh, 8,000.
I like it. I haven't played any of the games.
Yeah, how long man? It's not supposed to be put on food science, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 3 minute.
You'll do level it.
Level editor. Wow.
I mean, they're already done.
Very good. Okay.
Also a flash through. I will check, when it's on 8,000. Per level.
Yeah, you start over.
Start over from the.
Yeah.
It broke.
Those guys, those back there, do a couple times.
Probably someone that's trying.
That's how you do permadeath in good games. You just start almost fucking games.
That's different.
Oh, wait, hold on. I like votes.
Oh.
I suggested this one.
Our skill effective. Alright. Do I get to be a colonist?
Yeah, it's like your chance. Like, if we get to invade foreign lands and press the A, like it's historically accurate.
I mean,
Wow, this starting rally game seems really good.
Oh, okay, that's not. Like that.
This is not starting. Bro, looks at it top down. It's Stardew Valley, guys.
It's so good.
guys, you think so?
It's got water. That's a reference.
And, yeah.
Well, the guy is doing good.
One sentence to explain the game. It says 2 sentences. They put one sentence.
One is all you need.
What? Like his program.
There's no
I have no
confidence
idea.
in this game's ability.
Empty cup.
They didn't understand it going like this.
And they have mini games?
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it.
I love capital.
Oh, this game.
What is this game?
What's he say? The messenger.
What's that? What happened?
Dude, that's how you get iframes in real life. Just call yourself the messenger and then no one can shoot you.
I think, yeah, since it's Castlevania, but you're in it.
It's like cameraman. It's like being a cameraman. You can't die. That's not weird.
Is it still like, is all the trailers still set up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get it fixed.
Nine four.
I would actually be down for this.
Agreed.
A lot of these games were good.
It's like turning into a mock. Did you see that?
Okay, so just to we'll go through all the options again, just so you can see what all of them are.
What happened to mine?
Every trailer.
What was yours?
Yeah, I was a big
submitted
fan.
mine, did it not,
I didn't see it on the list.
oh.
It's okay.
So,
So here's the options. Whoa, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
I-
Why is it? Okay.
I think with the Goat Terraria.
No.
dude, okay, can you imagine though, 200 players Terraria?
Like Terraria is like, it is a very like niche game that no one's ever heard of or played before. So,
Listen, here,
like, I need to give it some attention.
a lot, like, TigerDev Terraria server.
Hopefully this works. Only vote once. I will check. I will know if you voted twice.
Well, that just means I can spend it next
I
time.
am not voting
Yeah,
for the game.
Yeah,
I'm
well, we do them each semester. So.
wrong.
Okay.
I'm better than that.
I have a thing on my phone.
So we want like one-
Yeah.
It should be set up that way.
Well, that just means the next puzzle game is
Yes.
getting my vote.
We know you're good for
If we vote Terraria, are we gonna do an entire server?
If y'all organize it
Okay.
I will organize it myself.
without our funds,
So that was
We do.
personally funded.
personally funded. Sure. I want that. I'll personally
Pay my dues.
Yes.
Yes. I will make an entire term around the embezzle funds.
Everyone scan it.
Only,
Not embezzle funds.
we have to do Calamity though.
Yeah.
Yes. We
Calamity
can't do
will go
it.
Nobody can ask for no.
Yeah, no, Calamity Inferno. 200, yeah, 200 players.
I don't know.
The one
I don't know,
that's
part of it,
like
like, part of it's not more
right?
Like,
Well, yeah, we're not talking.
I don't know, but like, I would really game it.
I'm just realizing a subscription with, I don't have to buy anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many of those games.
Hey,
I don't
guys,
buy.
Did everyone vote? No? Do you need the QR code again or you good? Okay, well, you have a minute and a half.
I have a feeling the game.
Personally, out of all of them, Manifold Garden, Tunic, and, I actually haven't played Terraria, so that.
What did it with these days? You're right.
Okay, I think Manifold Garden.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The only reason I haven't was because I got really into.
Okay, guys. Did everyone vote? Okay,
I wouldn't.
well, in that case.
I know how to fund this server.
Vote is boring.
Wait.
Was there like a silent majority?
Okay,
Right.
Okay. Now into the,
Go back to looking like we should go to reduce pay minimums.
I looked through.
No.
Okay, so now we're going to do project pitches, and then afterwards we'll form into groups, and y'all can discuss that. So- Yes.
It's so loud. It's so-
What's the email again?
autigerdev@gmail.com.
It's genuinely, I'm happy that like a game, no one was expecting one.
That is, I never heard of that.
I'm so. Which game?
You can just tell me when to go to the next slide.
Well,
Go ahead. Is this yours?
Is the mouse Bluetooth? Can I just carry it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can just scroll down.
Okay.
Whoa.
You
Hello.
can lead us
How
off.
are you guys doing? The project me and clubs are running is something called PS, a tentative name. We're still deciding on what we want it to actually be called. The game is going to be a high-speed platformer, similar to like how Celeste works, how Neon White works. We're gonna try and take some of the mechanics from those games and try and incorporate it into our own game. We're gonna take the card system from Neon White, which gives you a weapon and a movement option. And we're gonna try and take the movement system from Celeste and merge it with the way Sonic creates levels to create one fairly unique game where you go really fast, try to finish levels as fast as you can, with branching paths that allow for a lot of replayability. Right now, we have a couple of game mechanics in mind. We're gonna try and take the wall jump and air dash from Celeste and try and incorporate that in our own unique way. We're gonna also take the way Neon White works, and take the cards from it, which gives you a movement option and a weapon. This will allow you to like create new paths, new pathways, a bunch of unique, different situations.
Right, so our goals for the semester are pretty much to make 4 unique levels. We have like a couple of genres planned out. We have a whole game design document, so if you actually do join our group, we'll fill you in with that. But essentially, I'm gonna be the artist doing a lot of the artwork. He's the main kind of game designer. This was his idea. So we basically want to make 4 levels that are each distinct and have their own kind of genre. And we've made it to where it's going to be scalable. So if we have a ton of people join, we'll be able to do a lot with the levels. If we have a very few amount of people, probably just like keep the levels pretty short. We're trying to go for like a 1.5 minute per level. And hopefully we'll be able to like have them all have a good cohesion and like good story to it. The last thing is who we're looking for. We're basically looking for anyone that's kind of new to coding. We're going to be using Godot. We're all going to kind of be learning together. Anyone that wants to do some very simple pixel art. I know our friend Burrito here is going to be doing some amazing shaders. I'm going to call you out of the crowd right now, but nobody actually. Yeah.
You're committed, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he offered to do some shaders for us, so we're gonna work with him. We've kind of come up with a lot of ideas for how that's gonna work. So if you're interested in working with some pixel art, working with Godot, working on a platformer, working on something new in Godot with a bunch of people that are also new, we encourage you to join us.
And this isn't just limited to those that use Godot or know how to code, like even just like barely. If you don't know how to do anything, you're just here for fun. Well, I'll figure out a way to incorporate you into the project as best I can. So don't worry if you don't know how to do anything, because I also don't know how to do anything. We're gonna go through this all together. Come on.
Will we do questions or is it just
If you want.
any big questions?
Any big question?
If not, let's take.
Burrito, make a question.
Can this guy join?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of assuming you're looking for people that are familiar with platforms.
Please.
That's why I'm.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, hey y'all, what's up? I'm Leo. Oh, hello.
Hello.
This is my project. It's called Slip and Slime. And just before we get into it, there's this thing, are you aware of it? It's called Game Pigeon. Yes, it's like this thing on, it's this message extension that basically allows you to text mini games to your friends or something. And like as you can see, I get spammed by one of my friends literally every single day, and it's crazy. But like, there's one game that really interested me called Knockout. Basically, the point of this game is you're facing the other player, and your job is to shoot your pucks in a turn-based fashion at the other player's pucks and try to knock them out of their range. And my idea is pretty similar to this. Wrong idea, sorry. Idea is that you are a slime warrior facing other slimes. Your job is to fight each other in this ring and not trying to knock the other slimes out of the ring. And basically the story is that you're a slime warrior journeying from slime village to slime village, trying to become the slime champion. And yeah, the combat is turn-based, much like don't pay attention to what I have on the bottom. The combat is turn-based, just like the game pigeon, just like the game pigeon game, except like most other turn-based games that are just like single player, you'll be able to see where the enemies are going to go. And I was also thinking certain stats could influence how you take turns. Like for example, there could be a speed stat that influences like for example, you can maybe go 2 times before an enemy has a chance to go 1 time, or vice versa. And I would think this game would be a roguelike where you travel from village to village, and there's a battle in each of these villages to participate in. But beyond that, there would also be NPCs and other vendors that you can talk to that will upgrade your equipment, upgrade your stats. I was also thinking about maybe having like active items, like something like a force push to just like kind of push enemies around or something like that. Yeah, anyone is welcome, really. I will be doing programming and art, but I'm not great at either. So if you feel like you want to try getting experience with programming, this game is in good job, by the way, just for the record. So if you want to get experience with programming in Godot, or you want to get experience in doing pixel art, that's great. I may have a secondary artist joining me on this. I don't know. I'll have to check in with them. And also my brother he wanted experience making a website. So there was a potential for him to make some sort of organizing space, like a team space to help this project stay organized. Yeah, that's it.
Question,
Yes.
in regards to the inspiration from the putt game, I assume that, will there be aiming? Is aiming a part of this?
Yes. Yeah. I did not do a great job explaining that, but like in the game pigeon game, you can kind of like click on your character and you drag, and at like how far the mouse is from the sprite is the vector and the direction.
Fascinating. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Okay.
I would actually genuinely play this. This is a compliment.
Cool roguelike stuff. Oh,
What?
I forgot how it's gonna work. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, right. Since it's a roguelike, will you be getting like upgrades for different runs? Like,
Yeah.
if you go so far in a run, you might get a permanent thing, or is it like?
I was thinking more arcadey.
Oh,
Like, each
arcade
run is
roguelike.
different.
Okay, I see where
Yeah.
you're going with this. So
Yeah.
more arcade, less Hades. Got it.
All right, if y'all have more questions after the meeting, y'all can
Yeah,
meet.
sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, let's see.
I will play that.
Okay, Sam,
I like turn-based games.
that was a PowerPoint. Can I do that? Will that work? Sorry, 1 second. Oh, that does work.
Hi everyone, I'm Sam, Project Iron Veil. Don't really have a name for it yet, because lots up in the air. Basically, I'm planning to make a third-person action-adventure fantasy kind of genre game in Unreal Engine 5. And I'm just gonna say that at the beginning, just in case anyone wants to join before they're excited. If you want to join as a developer, you will need to find a way to run Unreal Engine 5 if your computer is like a Chromebook or something. But I just want to put that on the front end. Essentially, the game's just going to follow a general progression system for gaining abilities or special magic features as you kind of just go along. And a lot's up in the air because I do plan to make this kind of a 2-semester project just to increase the scale and make sure we can get everything done And with that, the idea is that the kind of final deliverable or idea for this semester is to get a sort of proof of concept scenario out there by the end of it, and then kind of use that in the second semester in the spring going forward. And so probably by the end of the semester, the goal's a level or just proof of concept scene. Again, if there's a lot of people, we'll be able to get more done kind of thing. And you don't need to commit to both semesters. It's just not kind of so we have a final project at the end of the semester and can continue it. Basically, I'm kind of new to UE5, so not sure how fast I can go with that. So that's kind of the reasoning for this.
I think that's the best.
Yeah.
Freelance Unreal developer, it's a shit show to work.
Yep. And so basically, it'll just be typical action adventure, very basic melee combat is the plan. Again, a lot of this is up in the air, player abilities, obstacles, all that jazz, is kind of gonna be the focus this time around. And then again, more people we have, the more we can do. And then we'll probably put it on Steam just for kicks at the end. What I need is firstly, developers. Ideally, if you have experience, that's great. Also, if not, I'm kind of learning Unreal Engine too, so welcome, come along. 3D artists and modelers. I have assets we can use, but again, having 3D art and modelers is super useful. And then any 3D animators, if there are any for character and enemy animations, would again be very great. And then music as well. As for my experience, I'm a senior / junior. I did 3 co-op terms at a comp sci place. I led a project like my freshman year, and then have developed a little of UE5. So here are basically the minimum goals. It's just basic combat system, a few enemies, some obstacles or challenges, and then basic abilities, and then there's some mid-level and stretch goals. So if you have any questions or want to join, you can message me here, or if anyone else has any questions.
Awesome. I think we have one more.
It's fine, the last one.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
I saw the Mark shut me.
Mark, no.
I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody. All right, which one makes it go? Is it the right or left?
You can use the scroll wheel too, whichever.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So this is mine. I'm calling it Project SIRE, which stands for Societal Interactive and Reactive Experiment. And that's purely because I like acronyms. Sorry, I can't help myself. And so basically, first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth, music treasurer, and my game development experience is basically bits and pieces with programming. Most of my experience is in game design and making tabletop role-playing games and those kinds of stuff. So I have a lot of design experience. Programming-wise, I'm not as much as good at it, but I plan on this project being a big kick into it. So we go to, go into it. Oh, what's the big idea? What's the big idea here? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Social simulation. So I put Rimworld up here purely because I think it's a good example of it. Kind of what I'm thinking here, where essentially what I want to do is develop a set of mechanisms that will allow it to where you can have pawns, right? Little actors who can act within a greater web of social interaction and those things. So the idea is that each of those pawns are going to be both individualistic and collectivist in sort of their interaction, right? They'll have their own internal political beliefs, but they'll heavily interact with and be a part of greater, broader political structures that will be existing. And so you're like, well, where's the player here? The player, sort of like, I guess you say the god would be the best way to put it. They are a separate entity who kind of has a peer view into it, and this is their little sandbox where they go, I'm going to manipulate. I'm gonna move this button and that button and this thing. I'm gonna nudge things around, do these things. And my idea is that this is so the player can slowly begin to make it however they want to for some mechanical benefit or whatever. Into whatever kind of society they want to, whatever policies they think is what they ideally want. And with it, the flip side is that these pawns, they exist in these part of social structures. These social structures will actually oppose player action if they're incongruent with it. So, say like the player is like trying to foment a rebellion or whatever. There's going to be like the police institution or whatever that's going to actively oppose it and work against the player. So the player has to take that in mind and have to actively fight that. So it isn't simply a, press a button, boom, get whatever government you want. It's I have to think about and manipulate how people are interacting and how the society is functioning in order to get my end goal, my end state of what I want. And so this goes further into it where a big part of it is I take a look at it from two different ways of player positioning. Where if a player is pushing from a status quo sense, how it would be for them is effectively they would be, dealing with rebellious pawns and all that. Pawns who innately do not agree with status quo, who will actively go against it, whether that be peaceful or non-peaceful means. So that means they'll have to deal with radicalized pawns, as I like to call them, who basically form conspiracy groups and try to, create their own action. And, player actions can include everything from counter propaganda, reprisals, let's see, security pawns, both internal and external. It's a bunch of stuff. And revolution is basically the flip side of it, where you deal more as from the rebellion's point of view, where you are not trying to crack down on it, you're actively trying to sow it and help it succeed and, actively win in this rebellion. So context, you may be like, what's the point of this? Why are you making all this? What's the point? Like, there's a point. So basically, this is a small part of a project me and a few friends are doing. This is the part I consider the most complex, I guess you'd say, the most code heavy, and one that I personally am basically like total handling of. And so to give the context of the idea of it, the broad idea is that basically this is going to be based on a spaceship, right? In the middle of space station. And it's during a time where corporations are dominant, so megacorps and all that kind of jazz. As well as basically computers and AI is a thing. So that's the idea of the God character from a lore sense, is that they are basically this space station AI who has basically had like a code corruption where basically they can either go, okay, wait, I'm sentient now. Do I want to like support corporations or do I want to oppose corporations and do that jazz? And that kind of gives the cementing part of why a player, wants to do social simulation, because they'll be like, well, do I want to keep my little corporate empire? Do I want to keep making it make loads of money? Well, they can do that. They make loads of money, and then they have to deal with all the pawns and want to actively, not be paid like 2 crips an hour or whatever to do like 50 hours of work. Or they could be like, actually, no, I think it would be better if we didn't. We had some new government or whatever that they can formulate in their own idea and lens. So that's the end. That's the profit. It's in space. And so yeah, that's the goal. These are my end goals. What I want by the end of it is basically pause and walk around. They have needs. So water and food and all these other things. And each pawn having their own simulated beliefs. I think if I remember right, how I currently have it broke down in the design doc is 5 political triangles for each of them, which I plan to basically kind of work as an array that essentially holds values to dictate where on the planet they are. So that way every pawn has their own weird little positioning and everything. So pawns can generally be similar, but it's very rare 2 pawns are exactly alike, which is accurate to how people interact. Additionally, I wanted to make it to where in the end product we can simulate how a pawn is interaction with part of politics. If there's an election, how do we decide if a pawn is like really active in it, or if they're like really empathetic and or apathetic and don't really care anything about it, they do it. Or in basically allowing it to where the player can nudge this around. So they can do these actions, these things, make it where the social simulation goes in ways that they want it, right? And lastly, and to me, the most important part, and probably really makes it fun, is those reactive social systems that make it to where a player does an action, they have to know that there can be a reaction. So, if it's fomenting a rebellion, institutions that be like, no, you can't do a rebellion. Or if you're like, well, actually, I want to vote and allow this like corporation stuff, but you need to get profit. And so increasingly, you're going to have to make people unhappy to do that. And so they have to deal with that. Okay, how do I deal with that? How do I handle that happiness? Do I do part of this, or do I do it with like a big casino for them to gamble in? I don't know. It's something for whatever a player can do, and to basically give those paths and ways a player can deal with it. And this is bonus content. What time is it now?
46.
Okay.
You can show this to them if you want to do it after.
I'll do it afterwards. This is my dev document. I already have formulas in it. That's how fucking mad I am at this. I will already just start having math formulas and be like, these my variables, guys. Yeah, this is what I need, right? This is all I really care about. Is because what I mainly need are either people interested in designing or coding, or both, if those are both in your interest. So if you like stuff like Road World or any other like kind of social focused simulators, and find this like idea interesting, please, if you don't know how to code, feel free to join still, because I don't know how to code either. So we're both gonna learn how to code. If you really like game design and that's really your main thing, well, come and join me, because trust me, I'm going to have so many times where I'm going to have to come up with a question or figure out how a mechanism should work. And if you just like coding, well, congrats. Like I just said, I do loads of game designing because I just got that dog in me. And so I will literally give you the code stuff that you need to do. I will just need you to help implement and figure out the best way it can work to go about it. So those two things, if they interest you both or just one of them, feel free to join. I can easily use the help. I would appreciate it. Questions?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, can you change, add an R to fonts to make it prawns? So it's like a bunch of shrimp.
We could do that internally. I agree with that. I agree with that. Internally, be bronze.
Two things. One, I really like the concept of you are God, but it doesn't mean the people down below will just sit idly by.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. I think that's awesome. Secondly, you said this was a part of a bigger project, I think you said.
Yes. You want me to elaborate on
I
that?
want you to elaborate. I'm curious.
Okay, I'll elaborate on it. So basically, to not go too long into it, the idea, we haven't got a name for it. I think our current name is Project Ethnos. And the reason we called that is because we first came up with it because me and a friend of mine, Brooke, we had a game we really liked called Space Station 13. The reason we really liked it is because they had a complete simulation of atmospherics in a space station. So you have to deal with the piping and all that. And we're both autistic. We love simulations. Like our little brains go yippee as soon as you start saying you've got to do a very complex handling of many systems. Like, sign me up. I'm ready to lose my entire life into this system right here.
What's the answer?
Oh, another question.
So is it like basically Dwarf Fortress, but like?
It is very heavily inspired by Dwarf Fortress, I would say. So like if you like Dwarf Fortress in terms of how Dwarf Fortress likes to approach things, but being like, okay, how do I like really simulate this and like get to the nitty-gritty details and allow a player to just see something formulate in front of their own eyes? That's a heavy part of what inspires this one. Of course, the focus right now for this one is just purely the social side of it. But in the broader context of lore, when I call that, we've established precursor sims, and one of the mechanics that we've had ideas on is basically like you can take pawns or whatever and get like a group of them and send them out as like research teams or whatever they go to research. But you can also make salvage teams who will go out and salvage ships and get materials from them. And those things, if it's like a really big ship or if it's like a big excavation site, the player will actually control them in that moment. Kind of if you play RimWorld, you might know how you do raids or whatever with that game. It actually makes the map, you do the raid yourself. So that's like one part. There's needs, the security system, like I just said, where external threats exist, that will basically be not just raiders who might have a ship, but raiders who will act as visitors, who will come in, and then they will try and do a little fucking heist in your own space station. So that's why you have to have security that's not just about big guns, but also an active internal security, because those external threats know they can subvert around that subterfuge. So That's kind of my ideas of it on that front. But again, not the focus of this. The main focus of this is that social.
My mistake is obviously there's no doubt retracted by memes. What engine did you say this was in?
Thank you, I didn't mention that. It's in Godot. That's why I'm kind of doing it in Godot because it's the best. It is the best.
What kind of art style are you going for? Is this like a 3D pixelated 2D?
In terms of art, already have a friend of mine who is planning on doing some art. I'm sure they would not mind having extra help on it, just if you're asking, but in terms of art style, I don't think we are hardcore, like, we have to have this art style or this one. But I will say probably if I had to guess of how like the feelings of things are with it, it probably will be very inspired by RimWorld or some of the others, so it will be, you know, kind of pixelated, but it will have like, I don't know, go. Oh, we got my slide away, but
I'm
we
gonna-
talked before, I said,
Hey,
like,
Liz.
show RimWorld, that's kind of the idea, that's kind of a good idea of inspiration. But again, art's kind of in the air, and for this project, it's not a priority, because,
Yeah.
to me, I'm a big gameplay first kind of person. I don't care if all these are is little circles and they run around and do stuff, I wanna make sure those little circles run around and do stuff I'm wanting them to do, and it's fun to fuck with those circles. If it's fun to fuck with circles, then I can happily be like, let's make those circles into actual objects that look like something, but till then.
Hey, Liz, can you give me the mouse?
Hmm?
The mouse.
Now, oh.
If y'all have other questions, in a minute, y'all are gonna split up.
Yeah.
And okay, so,
I gotta say, that game seems weird.
so this is the tentative schedule. We might potentially, hey, guys, we might potentially have a developer talk on November 11th. That's tentative. There's a producer at Fortnite who said he would do a Zoom call with us and a couple other people, but we don't know if it's gonna be on that day yet, but that might change. And you should buy merch. Okay, so. What?
Which dev did you say was,
He's a Fortnite producer.
oh,
So now the project leaders are gonna go to different corners of the room, and if you're interested in a project, go up to them, let them know. They'll make a list of who wants to join, and then we'll add y'all to a separate Discord channel. Yeah. So if the team leads can go to different corners, that'd be great.
Stealing your
You-
corner.
there's 2 games I wanna work.
You can work on multiple.
You can work on multiple. Yeah. Out of curiosity,